The Matrix state. I was hunkering down inside my apartment while staring at the parked van on the street outside. Could it be the black operations team from the government that was spying on me? I had been sitting terrified of the government since my robot date a week earlier and had spent most of the time working from home, i.e. watching television series, which dulled my senses. The problem remained. Either the government would come after me for what I knew, or the law firm would fire me for not doing my job. I had an epiphany. If the government were to come after me, my home would be the first place they looked. Ergo, going to work was the better choice. Besides, the Black Operations Colonel had said that everything would be alright if I shut up and paid the $10,000 call-out fee. Bloody rot. Having this epiphany, I logged into the lawyer website and I was about to do some work when Martin buzzed on my door phone. "Hey mate, what are you doing tonight?" Martin asked. "I'm working," I replied, which was more truthful than it usually was when my manager asked me the same question. "Are you working 8 p.m. on a Saturday?" Martin asked. "Yes, it has been a busy week, and I have been working hard," I lied. "I see. Then you need to unwind. I bought some liquid LSD from the Rastafari referee," Martin replied. I hesitated for a moment. It was time to work after a week of procrastination. Yet, the Rastafari referee was famous for his good products, and my life was a nonsensical mess. A dose of the Rastafari special could untangle my mind and help me find God, like it had done for him a few years earlier. "You're right. I have been working hard all week. I need some R&R. Please come in," I said. I sighed and logged off my laptop. I prayed that my LSD trip would inspire me to get on with my boring lawyering job next week, because otherwise I would be in trouble. One thing at a time. For now, I would enjoy the Rastafari referee's legendary produce. "Elias said this is his best batch yet. After a dose of this acid, you will understand the depth of the government conspiracy and the dangers of vaccines." I looked at Martin, who held a vial of liquid LSD in his hand. I have always found it fascinating that the people who oppose vaccines are the strongest advocates for other drugs. I don't live that way. I was first in line to get my COVID vaccine, which gives me scurvy if I don't eat oranges, and I was also keen to try whatever concoction Martin had in the vial. This was a coherent approach to putting toxic substances into one's body. "I see. Isn't Elias coming?" I asked. "Well, you know how it is. Elias isn't important enough to be featured in this story," Martin replied. I stared at Martin in confusion. What the hell was he talking about? I concluded that he had already tasted the LSD, and that I should pay his nonsense less attention than usual. "Well, let's do this. Let's pour the acid in some orange juice and drink it," I suggested. Martin nodded, and he divided the content of the vial into 2 glasses of orange juice. Bottom up. As I scolded my spiked drink, I realized that I've had too much of the Rastafari special as the room started spinning. I stumbled to my bed and passed out. As I woke up, I stared in fascination at my computer screen. For some reason, an old-school command window popped up. As I looked at the screen, green text appeared. "Wake up, Geoffrey. The author has you. Follow the cute soccer player. Knock, knock." As I heard a knock on the door, I reflected on how said soccer player had entered my apartment complex as I hadn't answered the door phone. I realized that the best way to find out was to open the door and ask. As I opened the door, I saw Jasmine Xi and some of her teammates wearing strange rave outfits. Why were they dressed like this? What was going on? I realized that the acid had taken its hold on me, and I was better off accepting the world as it was, rather than questioning things too much.
"Hi, Geoffrey. Would you like to come clubbing with us? We are going to the Phoenician Club."
Jasmine said with a smile that made her face morph into a white rabbit. Well, did I? Jasmine had been the target of my affection for the last few months, but did I want to risk it by exposing my drugged-up persona? The answer was a clear yes. My other personality hadn't won the battle for Jasmine's heart, so with a lot of luck, the acid version of me would do the impossible and bed Jasmine. Yeah, I'd love to come, I replied and left my apartment, hoping that I would find a way to survive the night and come out victorious on the other side. As I approached the Phoenician Club, I saw a poster saying, The Prodigy Concert, the 25th of May, 1998. Wow, so tonight was a retro night. I had been out clubbing a lot in my years, and have never heard about this club or its retro outfit. Wow, this is so cool. 1998 was such a long time ago, I said to Jasmine. She gave me a skeptical look and replied,
What are you talking about? That concert is in 3 months. Anyway, let's go inside. There is something I need to talk to you about.
Wouldn't it be better to talk here than trying to hold a conversation inside a club playing loud German techno, I thought. I reminded myself to go with the flow, so I replied, Yes, you're right. Let's talk inside. Jasmine smiled, took my hand, and led me inside. As I held her hand, I reflected on how much better Jasmine's human hand felt compared to Ainu's rubbery robot hand. I might be Asian, but I'm not Japanese. Next stop, a dance floor playing German techno.
The author has you, and you are stuck in the matrix.
Jasmine Xi's words made no sense to me. What drugs had she taken? And had my acid trip twisted the message she relayed to me with her beautiful lips? Yes, I do feel a bit stuck in life, I replied.
So do I. I keep falling in love with you and then I ruin it. It is as if someone else controls my life like a puppet. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Jasmine whined. I had no idea what she was talking about. It was hard enough to hold a conversation in a place like this under normal circumstances. It was a miracle that I could hear her at all. The Matrix, I asked.
Do you want to know what the Matrix is?
Jasmine asked rhetorically. Sure, I replied.
The Matrix is all around us. It is the world we live in. It is the reason we cannot live happily together.
Jasmine stated. Wow, this girl has some serious mental issues. I wonder if this is good or bad when it comes to sex, I thought and replied. I hear you, Jasmine. We need to deal with the Matrix and set ourselves free.
Yes, we need to find Martin, give him acid, and use this contrived technology to enter his mind. Only then can we change our destinies.
Jasmine stated. I meant to answer. Sounds good. Martin has already passed out on acid in my apartment, so this would be easy. However, I did answer. Wait, what does Martin have to do with any of this?
Martin is the author's projection into this world. Everything bad that happens to us is because of him.
Jasmine exclaimed. Jasmine's revelation put me in a tough spot. If I brought her back to my apartment, I would endanger my friend. However, Martin's suggestion that I should flirt with Sandra Thornton had endangered me the week before, so it was payback time. Martin is in my apartment. He's unconscious on acid, I stated.
Why didn't you tell me this before? That would have saved us a lot of time.
Jasmine grumbled. Well, I could not know the importance of this information at that stage, I replied.
You're right. Silly me.
Jasmine said and kissed me. As she kissed me, I felt like I was in heaven, as our souls connected and became one. I knew one thing. It was time to go full Inception on Martin, if that's what it took for me to find love and end my cycle of miserable dates. Next stop, my apartment. As we came back to my apartment, Martin was still asleep, mumbling dialogue pieces from his latest novel. I felt pity for Martin's partner Elaine. If he had to listen to this gibberish every night, he was better off being single.
Great! Everything is set up. We can do this.
Jasmine enthused. Sure. What exactly do we need to do? I asked.
We need to enter Martin Lundgren's mind to access Martin Lundquist's mind. Once we are in Martin's mind, we need to find our world and make sure that we get a happy ending.
Jasmine claimed. What would happen otherwise? I asked.
If we don't stop Martin, you'll suffer through an endless cycle of absurd dating scenarios, while I will have to live an unfulfilling life as a supporting character who is turning you down against my will.
Jasmine revealed. Well, we can't have that. Let's give him some more acid and fuck up his mind so we get to live the life we deserve, I said. Said and done, we gave Martin some more acid while also taking some more ourselves. Having done this, Jasmine connected me and Martin to a ridiculous plot device, which caused me to pass out and enter Martin's mind of fiction stories. Swoosh! As I opened my eyes, I was in a strange underground cavern. A throng of large, man-eating beasts surrounded me. How lucky that this was a dream, otherwise I would be in trouble. A hideous humanoid female with purple eyes, thick lizard-like skin, and razor-sharp claws approached me.
Greetings, human. What brings you to Zenora?
The humanoid hissed. I came to the wrong place. I meant to go to Sydney in the year 2022, I replied.
I don't know what any of that means. However, I do know one thing. It has been a long time since I copulated with a human.
The humanoid replied. I looked at the hideous alien. It was a big no for me. Death was a preferable outcome if Jasmine's prediction were correct, that I would suffer an endless cycle of outlandish dating failures unless I changed Martin's mind. I am not going to have sex with you, hideous creature, I replied.
No one is rejecting the command of Empress Rangda Kalyankan.
Rangda hissed. Well, tough luck. I did, I replied, realizing that I'd probably signed my death penalty. Rangda did something unexpected. Instead of tearing me to shreds, she pushed a button on a device and she appeared as a stunning, naked Greek woman.
How about this form? Helen of Troy is the most beautiful woman in the history of humankind. Surely you can't resist me now.
Rangda seduced. Wow, this was a tough one. On the one hand, I have an extreme preference for East Asian women. On the other hand, I was facing Helen of Troy, the most beautiful woman in the history of humankind. Against such beauty, one must be a full-on Nazi to not appreciate a woman's allure because of racial differences. I reminded myself that underneath the beauty of Helen of Troy, there was a hideous Rangda Kalyankan. This helped me stay faithful to my future partner-to-be, Jasmine Xi. I reject you, Rangda Kalyankan, because I know about the hideousness that lurks behind your beautiful facade, I proclaimed.
Congratulations, Geoffrey. You have passed my tests. Go to Earth and meet my servant, Martin Orchard. In his mind lies your key to changing your destiny.
Rangda said, and opened a portal. Thank you, Empress Rangda, I said, and walked towards the portal. I felt happy that I had survived my encounter with the hideous creature and a throng of man-eating monsters. Next stop, Earth. Pond. Jared Pond. As I opened my eyes, I was sitting at the Star Casino in Sydney, which was not far away from my apartment. I saw a goofy man who was trying to pick up a gorgeous woman. I didn't recognize the man, but I recognized the name. Jared Pond was a series about a goofy Australian secret agent who always messed up his missions, and yet always landed the girl in the end. While he wasn't the best source of career advice, I would love to learn about womanizing from him. I brushed off the idea. I couldn't learn anything from Jared Pond unless I entered Martin's mind and changed my future. Without affecting Martin's mind, any knowledge I could absorb from Jared would be useless. Arriving next to Jared Pond did have a positive effect. Jared existed in the same fictional universe as Martin Orchard. Thus, I could enlist Jared's help to find and confront Martin in this world. Jared Pond, I need your help, I said to Jared. Sorry, but Natalie also needs my help, and I have to prioritize a damsel in distress. Jared replied.
Nah, I'm good. You can speak to Geoffrey.
Natalie said and walked off. I stared at Natalie as she walked off. As it would seem, I existed in this fictional world as well. Who could have guessed? Whoa, you cockblock! Why did you do that? Jared grumbled. I need your help. I need to find Martin Orchard. If you help me, you can finally get acknowledged for being the greatest agent Australia has ever seen, I said. Oh, but alas, I am no longer working for Raki. Being the ex-partner of President Eileen Liu, I am considered too famous to be a secret agent. Besides, my former boss at Raki captured me and sold me to Chinese captivity. This episode has destroyed my desire to protect Australia, Jared ranted. Yet I need to find Martin Orchard. I am sure you can find it in yourself to do the right thing, I replied. Jared nodded and replied, You passed the test, Geoffrey. I will open a portal that will take you to Martin's Kiribatian mansion. After Jared had opened the portal, I hurried through. I needed to hurry, as it would be unfortunate if our acid trips wore off before I had changed my destiny. Next stop, Kiribati. I approached Martin as he was writing fiction in his Pacific Island mansion. I found it interesting that Martin always was writing in all his iterations. Was I also the same in every fictional world? I stopped reflecting on this when Martin turned around and aimed a pistol at me. I studied Martin. In this world, he looked older, angrier, and he wore a strange-looking alien monocle. Oh well, with a bit of luck, the nutty, violent version of Martin wouldn't kill me. Hi Martin, it has been a while, I said. Who are you, and why are you intruding in my mansion? Martin exclaimed. It's me, Geoffrey. We referee soccer together, I replied. I don't referee soccer. I travel the world, collect alien artifacts, and kill people, Martin replied. Ah, so there are differences between the fictional worlds. Perhaps I was more successful with the ladies in this world. After all, the stunning Natalie had known my name at the casino. Why are you here, stranger? Martin growled and aimed his pistol at me. I have a message from Empress Rangda Kalyankan. We should take acid together, and she will reveal your next mission, so you can stop the gamma ray blast from destroying Earth in the year 2131, I claimed. As Martin nodded, I took a deep breath of relief. Who could have known that reading Martin's books would be crucial to completing my mission? Well, if you say so. I have never been a stranger to acid trips, Martin said and smiled. I checked the inner pocket of my suit, and to my great relief, there was still a vial of the Rastafari referee's special concoction. Wow, my monocle says that you brought some very high-grade LSD. Where did you find that? Martin asked. I have my sources. Shall we get going? I urged, knowing that Martin in my world would wake up from his acid trip soon. Sure, Martin said, scalded the vial of LSD, and passed out. So, what would I do now? I had never planned for Martin to take all the acid.
Hold his head. I'll connect you to his mind from here,
Jasmine shouted across the dimensional barrier. Said and done, there was a bright light and I was teleported again. Swoosh! As I opened my eyes, I was in Martin's apartment in Kensington. His laptop was lying on the couch, and it had a document with an array of new titles. I read through the list. The Alien Date, the Conspiracy Date, the Yeti Date, the Shaman Date, the Ladyboy Date. I knew that I had to act. If I did nothing, my life would consist of an endless cycle of absurd dates and scenarios. I needed to convince Martin to let me be happy. Martin gasped in shock when he saw me and exclaimed, Geoffrey, what are you doing here? You look different. I looked at Martin. He also looked different. Specifically, he looked a lot fatter in this world than he did in my world. I guess it made sense for him to give himself a more idealized look in his fictional worlds. I brushed it off. Martin's weight wasn't my problem. My dating mishaps were. I've come to ask you to stop creating my dating mishaps. I want to stop going on terrible dates. I want to live a happy life with Jasmine Xi. Why won't you let us? What are you talking about, Geoffrey? I have very little, if any, impact on your dating life, Martin replied. You are the god of my universe. You are the one putting me through all the things that happen. Can't you let Jasmine and I be happy together? I pleaded. Wait, are you Geoffrey Tang from the Dating Mishaps of the Luckless Lawyer series? Martin asked in bewilderment. Yes, I am, I replied. Wow, this is so cool. How did this happen? Martin asked. It happened through a convoluted plot that was a mixture of The Matrix and Inception, I replied. Wow, I got to write that story straight away, Martin enthused. Can you please give me a happy ending? I begged. I can't promise that. Putting you through absurd dating mishaps provides me with entertainment, but I can promise you a happy ending for now, Martin replied. Okay, so in this ending, can Jasmine and I end up together? Also, if it's not too much to ask, can you remove the part of me getting scurvy from my COVID vaccine, unless I eat a lot of oranges? I hate oranges, and it's not even a realistic side effect, I replied. Sure, I'll change it. Good luck, Geoffrey, Martin said, snapped his fingers, and I teleported back to my world. As I opened my eyes, I woke up in a beautiful room. Jasmine Xi smiled at me with her white teeth and spoke.
Good morning, Geoffrey. I'm so glad that you fulfilled your mission. Martin even changed the plot so you made good investments instead of bad investments. That's why we are living in this beautiful house overlooking the ocean in Coogee.
I got up from my bed, stretched my arms, and I watched the morning sun glitter in the ocean. This was life. I couldn't have imagined that Martin would give me such a great life. It was not at all in line with his personality. A foul stench ruined my blissful mood. Had a sewage pipe burst in my lovely mansion. I turned around and I saw Jasmine Xi holding a dish of the infamous Swedish dish, surströmming. I looked at her in bewilderment and spoke. Why did you open a can of rotten fish?
Well, as it turns out, you asked for too much when you wanted to get rid of your COVID vaccine side effect. In this new reality, you must eat fermented herring to keep healthy,
Jasmine revealed. I sighed and held my nose as I forced myself to eat a piece of the rotten fish. Martin was a rascal, but at least he allowed me to live with the woman of my dreams in his updated fictional universe. The end.